I'm going to share this footage with everyone.
I think feelings changed, certainly in the run-up to the wedding. I think the Queen was aware that Meghan could be quite difficult, that Harry could be very difficult. I mean, look at the furore over what tiara Meghan was going to wear for her wedding day. You know, the diva and all of that, in fact, was Harry more than it was Meghan. But it certainly, I think, was a red flag to the Queen that things might not be as plain sailing as they were last time round with William and Catherine.
I mean, for somebody with intelligence to say, need to spray St. George's Chapel because it smells musty, that's interfering with history.
Well, if the Queen ever heard about that, I think she would have found it very amusing. I think she would have thought, well, what on earth is the girl going on about? The thing that worried the Queen was that Meghan was estranged from her father, although she was close to her mother. And I think that it was a bit of a messy situation in Meghan's family, and that's what worried the Queen.
To totally throw out her father with a dirty bathwater because he just so happened, mistakenly, cooperated with the paparazzi. She turned her back on him completely, and that's it. But she had high hopes for both of them. They had successful tours of Australia, had a successful tour of South Africa. There are allegations that she said during one tour, after a walkabout, I should be paid for this. Now, Harry either didn't give her the nuts and bolts about what monarchy is all about and what is expected, or he did and she wasn't interested.
I don't know if the Queen had time to do more to help Meghan adjust. I think she tried to put people around Meghan that could help her, but Meghan had to be prepared to listen. Because she was an actress, she made her the patron of the National Theatre. She did go out of her way to try and place the right things for Meghan, and she knew that Meghan's voice, you know, as a feminist and as a woman, would be something that would be very useful. So the Queen was very aware of what Meghan's strengths were. I just don't think she realised what Meghan's weaknesses were.
Then, of course, once they were married, there was a sense of Harry and Meghan wanting to break free, wanting to have their own charitable foundation, have their own estate independently of William and Kate at Kensington Palace.
Meghan didn't seem to be very interested in learning what it's like to be married to a member of the family. Meghan had very preconceived ideas. She wanted to be a princess, she wanted to live in a castle, and she wanted to have the life of Riley. Well, that is not really what being a member of the royal family is like, and I think the Queen saw that.
I don't believe for a moment, when Meghan married Harry, that she had any intention of staying in the UK, of becoming a royal. She was written out from Suits. Suits was coming to an end, a series that she had done for quite a long time. Hollywood wasn't beating a path to her front door, so there are no parts in the offing. She was of an age where she had been married. There are even suggestions she'd been married twice before, but that's never been substantiated. But she was looking for a husband, and she got married to him, and she enjoyed the sense of occasion. She manipulated it to what she wanted. She had an idea of what she wanted to do. It wasn't necessarily acting, so you've got to create another career for yourself. Well, with a handle like Duchess in front of you, with marrying a prince of the United Kingdom, with a bit of money, the world is open.
So I think she was mindful that Harry and Meghan wanted a different route, and she did as much as she could to accommodate it. I think she exercised a lot of patience, a lot of leniency. She gave them far greater scope and latitude than previous royals have had, and yet for Harry and Meghan it was never enough.
When Megxit was chopping in the front of the Queen, I think that initially A lot of things were being deferred to Prince Charles at that stage. Initially, she would have thought, well, I don't want this on my desk. Charles, deal with your son. Until it went public, until he basically threatened the authority of the monarch by producing that Instagram post that said, this is what we intend to do, none of which had been cleared.
They virtually threw it in her face.
When Harry and Meghan decided that they do not want to be living in the United Kingdom and full-time working royals, but they sort of wanted a hybrid existence so they could do their own life and make their own money overseas, either in Canada or in America, but still do the sort of the odd royal engagement here and have police protection. The Queen was clearly very anxious about that because she'd seen it happen before.
The Queen was very adamant that they couldn't be half in and half out. She had seen it fail countless times before, whether that was with Sarah Ferguson embarking on commercial deals.
The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, as they are now, so Sophie and Edward, both had their careers. He is the head of Ardent Productions, she had her own PR company, but they were still doing royal duties. And it all crashed and burnt. There was allegations that they were using their royal titles to make money. So they gave up their businesses to become full-time working royals.
It just didn't work.
There's no middle way. You're either in or you're out. You can't have one foot in both camps.
So however much Harry and Meghan had tried to come up with a new model, it wasn't something the Queen was going to entertain. And I think that showed, well, certainly the Queen's experience and her lack of willingness to compromise, because she knew that if she compromised, it could potentially be at the cost of the monarchy, and she wasn't willing to do that.
Her judgment was second to none. It was absolutely extraordinary. And I remember joining the royal household as a sort of a new person, very enthusiastic. I thought, gosh, you know, I'm going to change the world here. And I put a memo up to the Queen about an issue, and I said, this is Your Majesty, this is what I think we should do. This is a great way forward. And a note came back very quickly saying, Ailsa, we did that in 1973. It didn't work then, it's not going to work now. And I thought, yes, absolutely. You know, don't reinvent the wheel, because this is a person who has seen so much throughout her lifetime, throughout her reign, and she will know instinctively what is going to work and what isn't going to work. So that was a good lesson for me.
I think at that moment she realised that she had to act on behalf of the whole monarchy. She had to be decisive, ruthless really, in cutting him out, because you cannot monetize the name of the monarchy so openly and then serve as a working member of the royal family. It doesn't work like that. Otherwise, it looks like you can buy the monarchy. No, she had to be decisive over that, and she was. Even by changing the name of their charity wing, their website, Sussex Royal, you know, they had to change. That was the basic, obvious, that was the most obvious one. It was quite clear that, yeah, the Queen was very capable of being ruthless when it felt that the monarchy as an institution and a brand was being threatened.